Welcome back to an update video. We are talking today about AMC, GME, BYND, RIOT, FFAI plug, and FCEL, DJT, and Virgin. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I am using the Fractal method. Explanation video for that I will post at the end of the video. Okay, because of this massive news today, we start with GameStop. So, and for GameStop today, we only look what we have done today, especially what we did in after hours today. If you want to know the whole Fractal, price targets, how the Fractal is looking, how the squeeze should look like, blah, 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 just watch the video from Sunday or the big update video. Now we just look what we have done today. So let's zoom in. So, and we start with GameStop today because it's important for GME, for AMC and course too. And I will try, or I hope I will do, finish that without tinfoil. I mean, I'm not living on the moon. I also saw that Ryan Kitty was tweeting, but first of all, it was hacked and fake. Yeah. A second, you know me, I don't care about Rowan Kitty, delusion, news, whatever. Doesn't matter. But third, the timing for that today was kinda perfect weird. Yeah. What I mean with that, before we go into the tracking, you only have to imagine the whole day was quite nothing. Yeah. And then in after hours, we closed here. We got this tweet, yeah, from whoever. We showed up. At this peak, suddenly, we got the delusion news. And we fucking knifed. So, my point here is, that is looking for the bullish version way, way too perfect. What I mean with that, if you just look, here's our regular hours, yeah, or without after hours. We closed here. We ran up in after hours because of the Fractal. We ran up to, what was it, 26, 24. After that, we knifed down 17%. So, if you would now imagine without this tweet, so if we just closed here, nothing happened, and then we would have gotten the delusion news, what would have happened? Well, we would went down 17%. In that case, we would have broken every bullish fractal line. If we would have done that, I would sit here and tell you, guys, nice to meet you. Get how much money you have and buy fucking puts for January. As much as you can. Because if you would have done this, it would have been absolute fucking 100% clear we go to 15 or even lower. So, the point I was making, with this move, we didn't broke important lines. So, what the hell? Why? Was this hack on purpose or fractal-wise or whatever is controlling had to be there so we don't break these lows? Think about it. Also, I will show AMC and course, for example. But without to go into macro tracking. First of all, if we're taking the L and M line, this right now was a perfect breakout retest if we're bouncing here tomorrow. Second, this is just our old tracking where November was our V. This was our A, the last A with the last pullback before we squeeze over T. And we fell down under the 0.5, under the 618. But the important part here is we didn't touch the 786. So, for GameStop, we have to bounce here. There is no alternative for this. We have to bounce here. If we do, because AMC and GameStop always running Monday, Friday. If we now till Friday a higher low, we will see. But we have to bounce here. Yeah. Then it's still bullish. Everything is fine. And nobody is caring about the dilution news. Especially it's just a vote. Yeah. And the shareholder meeting, I think, is in June 8th or something like that. We will come to that in AMC, but if you not see anything upside till end of May, it's done. Just saying. So you already should see something before the shareholder meeting even takes place. But the only alternative is if you touch the 786, that means if you touch 21.30 cents, this can't be A anymore. This can't be A anymore. This becomes T. And if this becomes T, and I'm talking about this is just T from this M, you will knife down. First level to bounce is 17.15 because here started M. You will go down, you will come up again, then you will do your big T, and then you will knife further. In that case, your target is the 786. That means 15.48. Maybe a little bit lower because your A would be here, so your target would be BYND. So 13.56. That is your target if you break the 786. So under no not coincidences, you're just not allowed. You're not allowed to touch or break 21.30. If you do that, no financial advice. Just saying what I will do. If we touch that, doesn't matter if it's this or next week. Yeah. If we touch 21.30, I go massively into puts. And for timing, this takes you till next year. Just saying. Yeah. For the bullish checking, you bounce here. And you fuck everyone who is in puts now and is laughing on Twitter. Yeah? You bounce here and you will do your squeeze. Yeah? But most likely you will have to do a high low till Friday and then we go. Yeah. Also for AMC, I only have my best target is May 15 to end of May or next week. Yeah. Before we go into AMC, yeah, because I can say, okay, because he tweeted, we got this move, and because everyone on the same time looked at Twitter and bought, or Algos bought or whatever, fine. But this isn't explaining why COS, which is synchronized with GME and AMC, also did a move, yeah, and not a bearish one, yeah, because I'm not completely going to the fractal of course, because quite no one is interested, but it also had an all-time low in March 2020, wonderful higher low till April 2024, and right now we also did, like GME, also an higher low. The only difference here is that COS finished its higher low here with a 786, and right now what I was waiting for COS is that we knife down to finish this bullshit here. And look what we have done in regular hours. Today we really knifed down. Was even for COS, this is massively quick. Yeah. Okay, so what happened after hours? Bounce. Why? Yeah. Ryan Kitty never said he's doing something with COS. Why are we bouncing here? At the perfect time. This had to happen today. Otherwise, we would maybe have broken down here. So, also, if we look at the coins, the GME coin. Also, I mean, the GME coin and the AMC coin They invented 2024. Yeah, they did a higher low. Yeah, the main tickers did a lower low, but the ticker, the coins made a higher low. But also, look at this. It made a higher high. Just made a little pullback, and I would say it's creeping up again. So everyone at the same time, when this fake Roaring Kitty is writing, everyone is clicking the buy button. And I mean, okay, maybe you can explain it with algos. Fine. But I don't think that these coins are sitting on an algo. Yeah, it's not so easy to get them because you can only change them. You just can't buy them. You can only change them. So what the hell? Yeah, that this move is too perfect right now. Up and down, too perfect. Yeah? If I'm wrong, we will touch 2030 tomorrow, latest Friday, and GME will fucking knife. Also, to say this, because I also read that, yeah, fuck GME. Fuck GME. Yeah, but as I said, AMC, GME, CORS, they are synchronized since 6 years. If GME is dying, CORS will die and AMC will die. Yeah. So to be bearish on GME but bullish on AMC is not working, but could be wrong. Okay, then let's jump into AMC. So for AMC today, we're also only talking what we have done today for the big update, price target, how it should look like, the squeeze, time, blah, blah, blah. In the best case, you watch the video from Sunday or the big update video. Okay, then let's zoom in. And during GME did its fucking candle to the upside and the knife candle, AMC just did this little blip here. Just saying. Okay, for the tracking for AMC. Well, AMC killed its absolute bullish version today. Yeah, because here, this was our higher low till today, and we made a double bottom. Yeah, so this can't be higher low anymore. A higher low is a higher low. Everyone who is telling you this is higher low, nah. Yeah. So I also showed you this version on Friday and on the weekend. So this was just M. Yeah. Also, this little thing here can't be T. Why? Because M isn't finished yet. For M, we have to go lower than 141, which we didn't do. Yeah? So for this tracking, we are still in the A pullback. Yeah? That means, sadly, we still need the 0.5 or the 618 for the bullish tracking. So we still need 134 or 123. Of course, as always, we can bounce a little bit over it, at it, or under it. Same for the 618 fib. Yeah. So for the rules, one by one, we now would have, most likely, in my opinion, we will drop to this 0.5. Then we would come up again a little bit. This would be our T. And then we would do one last knife to the 618. If we're doing it picture perfect. And then we have to do the higher low. The same higher low, which I showed you in the last weeks. The thing is, this is still quite a lot of price action for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. My target is still Friday the 15th till end of May. And to make that now absolutely clear, if you just look back the last 5 years, you always had a peak in May. Always. If we're not seeing anything on AMC till end of May, till June 1st, and we're just doing something like that, that's fucking bad. Because in that case, this was the peak. And not only the peak, this was a T. And you will fall till end of year. To new lows. Yeah, to 50, 20, 30 cents, whatever. Same thing is, if you break the 786, that means if you touch or break $1.09, This line is the same like GME is touching 2130. That's not working. If you do that, it's over for 2026. For AMC even, that would mean, because you will go down to 30 to 20 cents, that you most likely 99% will do a reverse split. Just saying. Right now, it's still bullish tracking. Yeah. And for this isn't able to be, we can't do that till this week, till next week, or even till end of May. Yeah, one thing. As always, I am presenting you the magical side by side. So, as always, all 1 hour charts, left side today, middle January 2021, right side April 2024. We're not talking about how we went to the A, but we're talking about the pullbacks. Because also in 2021, you never saw M or T. You just didn't saw it. You just knifed. Just saying. In 2024, you had a little M and a quick T. Yeah? What I want to show this is maybe just to make this quick, we just go down to whatever target we have, 0.5 or 0.618. And this will be our V. The T can be, because it's micro tracking, can be somewhere in here. Maybe you just see it on the 5 minute or 1 minute. So this is something we can do till this Friday even. Yeah. So if we just knife down tomorrow, yeah, or Wednesday, and then doing Thursday, Friday, the higher low, it's still perfect. If not, let's say if we do this till Friday, so let's say we go to 124 till Friday, why ever? Yeah, I would still say there's a pretty good chance that we're not going next week, that we're doing all next week just a higher low, and then we're going in, which date was that? In the last week of May, 25 to 29, in a short week. So there is a holiday or something like that. Yeah? The same what we did in 2021. Yeah? So I just want to say this isn't bearish yet. I think it's not finished yet. Yeah, because double bottom, no. Higher low, no. This was, in my opinion, clearly M. So we have to go lower. Yeah. Yeah. Same as long as you're not touching 109, bullish. As long as you're staying in these 3 weeks now, yeah, we still have 3 trading weeks, and you're not going into June without movement, still bullish. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, next one is BYND. Also, today we only look what we have done today. For the bigger update, watch the big update video or the video from Sunday. Today we just zoom in what we have done today. So let's zoom in. So nothing really changed. Yeah? I want just to answer some questions. Yeah? Main tracking, in my opinion, is still we fall into Friday. And to say that, I think this Friday, May the 15th, there is some news that there is some contract because of synthetic meat for the US military. So maybe it's a news for BYND. What I have to say is if I take this low to this peak, that's giving me May the 15th. May 13th to May 15th. So it looks fucking good that we get our low on Friday. For the main tracking, we finished little M today. Yeah, I'm talking about this. We finished this today. M started here with this candle here. We finished just M. So we still have to go something till Friday, because also BYND is doing Monday, Friday breaks most of the time. So I would still say for a T, this is a little bit too small, but could be, or you just go a little bit up, but you need to do a lower low. Most likely on this trend line again, in this bouncing area, so something between 78 to 72 cents. Again, same as AMC, same as BYND, you're not allowed to touch the 786. You're not allowed to touch 70 cents. Yeah? Again, if you do that, This can't be A. This can't even be T because it's too high. This would become M. And then you will knife to new all-time low. The higher low here in October would become macro T. You fall somewhere down here and you would still have to do the macro higher low, and this will take fucking time. So don't fucking do that. Or BYND is over for at least 2026. If we're not even talking about the reverse split and blah, 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 blah. Yeah? Not looking like that, but just don't do it. So, because I got the question today, isn't it possible that we move our L up here, our M up here, and our T here, so that this here would be our V, and we only have to do the higher low? First of all, it was from someone of you. First of all, it is possible. Second, I don't really like it because the L is so small, but we already had cases like that, so it is possible. My only question would be, you need still to do something till Friday. Yeah? But I want to show that side by side, because if there is an idea, you at least have to check it if something is there. So left side, 1 hour from October 2025 till our V in April 2026. Right side, also 1 hour, but just from our A, yeah, just from April 2026 till today. And you could say there are similarities. I mean, of course there's similarities. Fractal is always repeating in itself. You can even look that up in AMC. Watch on the 24 on the whole chart, then go on the 12 hour, 4 hour, 30 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. You will see the whole fractal, just smaller, compromised in 5 minutes. You will always see the repeat. It's crazy. So much for it's a real market, just say. But if you just say we have here our C, we have here our lower high, because we are pretty steep down. It's the same like here and here. We come down, come up again. We come down, come up again. MM. We fall longer to a lower point than here. Becomes pretty steep up again, doing our T. Then we fall again. We have here a little peak. This would be this little peak. And at the end, before the V, we have this big candle here. Myth, I mean, big candles you see quite often. But the point here is that you also have an up and knife. Same like here, up and knife. Then you bounce and coming to the V again. You bounce and coming to the V again. So yeah, I would say there's a possibility that you could do that. Yeah, we could put our L here, just saying. But in the end, in this case, it doesn't really matter. If we now still need a lower low, or if this is just finished and we still need a higher low till Friday, it doesn't really matter. What matters are levels. Yeah. So let's say if we go over 105, that's bullish. Confirmation is 115, and there is no downside anymore. Same as you're not allowed to break or touch 70 cents, or this play is at least for this year over. Otherwise, BYND still looks great, and it didn't really care about AMC and GME, which is a good thing. So even if we are wrong on AMC and GME, I think BYND doesn't care. Absolutely doesn't care. You could even say, yeah, if it's true that AMC and GME already bounced, already peaked in May, yeah, then we already have the case again, because 2019 BYND peaked before 1 year or 2 years before AMC and GME. And when AMC and GME made the squeeze, it did the lower high. If AMC and GME isn't doing something this year, I think the old shooting order is again something we can look at. Don't think that, but as an alternative. Okay. Next one is a very good fractal, and I didn't do an update for quite a while, is RIOT. And RIOT is a very old stock. I mean, not very old, but it's one of the first ones where I started with this channel. And it's with Neo, in my opinion, they are the two most easiest one. Especially with RIOT and Neo, you don't even need my method for it, because it's just using the how do you call that? The pure fractal. It's going one-to-one, and I will show that. Especially, I'm showing that because it's starting to break out. That's my point. So we have our C, lower high, midpoint, T, all-time low. Broke out over T, beautiful A. We did 618 pullback, perfect breakout retest. Then we did the small tracking here. Next target is B. B is over M. That means something over 250. Most likely 350. No financial advice. 0.5 pullback, all-time high. It did a reverse split. Let's look. Where is it? It did 3 reverse split. 1.8, 1.6, 1.5. Yeah, just to say that. So I think we won't reach all-time high without a forward split. Just saying this. So 3,000, but 200, 250, I think that's reachable without a forward split. So now for the side by side. So just for the explanation, left side still the weekly chart, right side the 8-hour chart, and it's zoomed in. What I mean with zoomed in, this here is just this here from IPO. Just saying. Yeah? And it's one-to-one. Yeah? And I will show that. Thing is, you have here your peak, you have here your peak, you have your lower high, you have your lower high. You fall down, you fall down. You have here lower low, lower low. You're coming up again, doing this double top. You're coming up again, doing this double top. You fall down, you fall down. First a higher low, then a lower low. First of all, a higher low, then a lower low. Then you come up again. You come up again in a straight candle. This is your T. You knife down, here's your T. You knife down to your V, you knife to your all-time low. Then you're doing a higher low, you didn't do that here, but then you broke over your T. Yeah, over your T. This is your A. Same as here. Over your T, this is your A. And then you made this pullback. You made this pullback, and then you got kinda go sideways. And here you go sideways. Next thing, if we're doing it still continue one-to-one, what would happen? You go up to your B, which is over the double top over M. Same here. You go up over your M. Your double top would be B, which would be 250 to 350. That's the crazy part, because it's really quite one-to-one. Also, if we just do this little micro tracking here, you had your V. First, you did your micro A with a wonderful 0.618 pullback. Then you went up to your B, which is over A. You did your 0.5 pullback. And now you broke over your little B. So for confirmation, if you want 100% confirmation, if you go over 80, that's confirmation that you will go to 350. Now for the play. The problem, there is a little problem. I would still say that this run should be fucking vertical. Most likely it still will take till January 2027. But problem is, it's not something like this. It will be start going just up till then. Just saying. And the problem with shares, who cares? Yeah. The problem is the option chain, because from today on till January 2027, the max strike is still $40. There is no higher strikes. And for 2027, they are quite expensive. But, no financial advice, I mean, they will be fucking deep in the money if you do that. So it would be worth it. Yeah. Just an idea, but it's wonderful, perfect. And it's easy to play. And it doesn't care about other memes. Also, a big plus point. A little update to FFAI. Just a little update. For the full story, just watch the video from Sunday. So let's zoom in what we have done today. The thing is, just to show that, from the video on Sunday, the trend line was like this. In that case, this looks like a breakout, retest. The only problem I have with this is that you didn't go bend over T, and you quite perfectly rejected here. So for my main tracking, this is still higher low, and you still have to come down to the 786. Yeah, means 27, 26, 23 cents, something like that. Do this, bounce, and you can go. But if you now, whatever reason, go here and you break 47, the downside doesn't make sense anymore. Just saying. In that case, even if we are under T, I have to handle this like A, because from the V to this top, we bounced between 0.5. It makes no sense. Yeah. But if you go over 47, I will sit here and say, okay, wasn't my tracking, but at least you know we go up. I'm not taking credit for it because it would go against a lot of things, but having an alt, yeah, just saying. My main tracking is still downside. Same like AMC, GME, and beyond, you're not allowed to break 20 cents. Breaking 20 cents and this thing is dead. Just saying. Okay, now to something really good and also old, plug. Also one of my oldest tracking. Yeah? I also started with this, I think, the channel. I changed it a little bit, yeah, because I also learning a little bit further, no, not further. With more and more tracking, I'm learning more and more tricks. So like that, yeah. Because the first time I showed it, I handled this as high or low, which it isn't. Yeah. So for the main tracking, we never saw A and B. Just saying, we only saw the last runnings to C, like beyond kinda. Then C, lower high, midpoint, D, all-time low for the bullish tracking. For the bullish tracking, this is your macro A. Finished. Next step would be your macro B, which has to be around 106. Just saying. So for this, yeah, you did here a perfect, kind of perfect 618 pounds. You didn't touch the 786, so fine. And now we are finished. So in the best case, you are going up. Before we're going into the bullish checking, if you reject here, yeah, why ever, this will become your higher low. Yeah, doesn't make sense because, I mean, you have to put your T if you do that, your T here if you do that, but in that case, you will go down. Yeah, something 39 cents-ish. Yeah. Right now, it looks fucking good that this is still our little A. What I mean with that? You made your V, you broke out over your T, this would be your A. Then you made a pullback, a perfect 0.5, and you bounced. And today, on earnings, you broke out. Yeah, doesn't matter how you put it, yeah, even if you put it like this, yeah, you have to go up tomorrow. Confirmation for this is, if you break over 474, there is no alternative to the downside anymore. And it was red earnings. Still went up. I think we are already up 8%. Or what is this? Let's look. No, 22% even. Yeah. So it looks fucking nice. Yeah. As I said, confirmation 474. Next target for middle B is something around 12. Yeah, we are sitting right now at 4. Yeah. Then 0.5 pullback. If you're doing it, your macro target for the next move is, as I said, something over M. That means 109. Most likely even higher because you already have here your A. Yeah. There are no splits. Yeah, there's one split. Okay, one split, 1 to 10. So not big, so it's still reachable. Again, careful. If you pull back from here, I would say if you fall under 286, yeah, there's a big possibility that this is higher low. In that case, you have to go down here under $1, under the 786, and then you go. Yeah? Let's see. But also this thing looks fucking great, is easy to track, and doesn't care about other memes. Also, just saying. Also, something old, FCEL. Also, very old tracking, also starts to breaking out perfectly. For FCEL, we have a massive B. What I mean with massive B, this B took 10 years, just saying. Then our peak, lower high, midpoint, T, all-time low. Yeah? We are right now doing the macro high low. Yeah? We come to that in a second after the macro high low. Next target is A with over $900, then B for 20,000. Again, you had reverse splits here. The A is still reachable. Everything over A, you need a forward split. Otherwise, this trend line will be your death line. Yeah, you will come up here and die without a forward split. For the macro high lows, we have two, quite the same like DJT. The first one is the small macro high low. In that case, your target is 60. If you're doing the bigger macro high low, your peak is 910 before you go up. Sounds stupid, but okay. And for the micro tracking, if we look here, you have your all-time low here in May. You did a perfect higher low. You broke out. And then it kinda said, yeah, because this is your A, you did a perfect 618, and since then you did the same shit like Rivian. Yeah, you stayed in this fucking triangle forever. This really killed my nerves, really. But then we broke out. Everything fine. We broke out in April. Yeah. And then we started to get in this fucking triangle here again and doing the same shit, just smaller. But we also broke out. So, next thing. Our target, 60. Yeah. I mean, we could go now up, do a little B pullback, and then C, and this is then your higher low. But direction is upside. How you play that. The thing with FCEL is, I would even say we are sitting now at $16. I would say shares is better. Problem is, I can't really tell how quick we would do this or this, because we have massive price jumps from 20,000 to $4. I can't give you a reasonable, good, perfect date. I just can't. So shares is the safer route, and especially because you have a very unliquid option chain, yeah, with big spreads and not cheap. Yeah. So shares may be better if you want to risk something. Play, no financial advice, January's for 60. Yeah. I didn't look how expensive they are, but yeah. Okay. Then we do a little update for DJT. Also today, only what we have done today for the big update video, just watch the video from Sunday. Yeah, there we talked about everything. For DJT, we are still doing the higher low, or to be exact, in my opinion, we finished the higher low. Yeah. Also, I mean, I think I can delete that now. It's fractal tracking 1-to-1 with the rules. I said here we have to come down and making a lower low. We did that. Then I said here, okay, perfect, we can go up to our T, but we're not breaking this trend line. We did that. And here I said we have to go V under A, and we did that. Yeah, so perfect. This right now is just perfect. And especially we went under the 786, also perfect. So this higher low is finished in the best case. The only thing we still could do is a micro higher low. Yeah, what I mean with that, we can just look at a few months before previously. This is kind of one-to-one we are doing here. And how this micro higher low would look like would be just this little micro higher low. Yeah, this could still be there and then up. Yeah. Of course, the same thing. Bullish, everything over 970. Confirmation, everything over 10. Yeah. Same as BYND, AMC, GME, and so on. You are not allowed to touch 80-30. If you touch 80-30, that's bad. What is the next target? Yeah, just saying. One of our two macro higher lows. First one would be the MT line. That means your maximum would be 20 before your pullback, or you're doing the big one from the main trend line, then your maximum would be 30. Yeah? Or this micro higher low is enough, and you just, whenever this is finished, repeating IPO. Maybe. Yeah. But DJT also looks fantastic, and also doesn't care about AMC and GME, which is also a plus point. Okay, and a last one, a community wish space. So, Virgin Galactic Holdings. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking that bad. Yeah, just saying, let's go on the 24 hours. I mean, whatever this here was, yeah. I mean, in the best case, this was just A. Yeah. You have your B. Your B. You see, lower high, midpoint T. So I have one bullish, one bearish version. I would lean more to the bearish version, I really have to say, but let's go through both of them. So for the bullish version, here's your V. Yeah, this. The lowest point on the chart. Here's your V. For the bullish version, this is already the little macro higher low, yeah, because there's not really much space left in the space stock. Yeah. And you will go up. Target is something over 7 over your T. That would be your A. Yeah. And then you would go up to your M, which would be your B, around 125. There's one reverse split here, but it's only 1 to 20, so this is still reachable. I don't think we, without the forward split, we are reaching all-time highs. B is still reachable. Also, one question would be, are repeating the IPO one by one? Because in that case, we would go up here, A, and then most likely over a year doing this. Yeah, same like this. Don't think that. I think that's just something weird, which what happened back then. But if you start, so if you're going up here and you suddenly see over weeks this, I would be careful. Yeah, but let's see. The bearish alternative. Nothing is changing except down here. The problem is normally, this is still your T. Nothing is changing. But normally you're not doing such a small lower low for T. So if we start to micro track this, just the T. Yeah, I'm just talking about, come on. I'm talking about this T here. Yeah. Then in the best case, you have your L somewhere in here. This would be your M, which was starting here. And here it closed, and this would be your T. In that case, this is already lower high, and you will make a lower low. Wherever. Yeah, somewhere down here. And then you still need to do higher low, and then you go. From the levels, for the upside, nothing is changing. The only thing which is changing is you're rejecting here and making a lower low. And a little bit more time because you still have to do the higher low. Otherwise, nothing is changing. So it's pretty okay. Yeah, I would just wait. I mean, as I said, everything over 337 is bullish. Everything over 521 is confirmation. Maybe I would wait for that. If maybe I play it. I have to wait a little bit on confirmation, but it's not looking that bad. Okay. Well, was quite a long video. As always, explanation video here, playlist here, the big update video with all our stocks back here. If you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more, you can leave an abo. And let's see what happens in the next 2 days. It will be interesting. See ya.